Welcome to Mood Mondays. I'm your host, Jasmine Davis.
And I am your host, G.
And today's segment is going to be on why self care is so important for your overall quality of life and health.
Yes, I love health and fitness. I love quality of life. These are topics that I actually studied about in school. I did get my bachelor's in psychology. I also got my master's in behavioral economics. So
Mm.
definitely am a lover of quality of life, and I feel like it's important to manage your quality of life when it comes to everything, like
Every aspect of your life.
financially, when it
Yeah.
comes to partnership,
Hmm.
all of the leads you can think about. I think we need to really focus on when it comes to
Yourself.
quality of life
Yeah.
and your self care.
So, what have you learned? So, you have a bachelor's and a master's degree in psychology and behavioral science. What is the most important thing that you have learned that you can share to help with self care and why?
Oh my gosh, I love that question because I will always say my number one would be mindset.
Mm.
If your mindset is not there,
Hmm.
it's not happening. That's just what it is. Prime example, you want to go change your weight or you want to change your diet. I became a vegan for a while,
I'm still
and
a
then I
vegan.
went I went back to meat. But I learned in a behavioral modification class where you give up something for like 6 months
Hmm.
or maybe a year. So I gave up like meat, and then I went back, and then I was like, oh, let me see how long I could do it again. And
Hmm.
then, I was a vegan for quite some time and then transitioned back to meat again. But I do feel when you place your mindset somewhere, it definitely enhances your overall quality of life, your mood. It
Yeah.
enhances everything for you to kind of change the direction of
Um,
self care.
yeah,
And self
because
care is a mental state.
it's a mental state. Self care is you have to want to care for yourself. Like you literally have to look yourself in the mirror and say, you are worthy of caring for you. No one else. You're not, it's not your job to save the world, to take care of the world.
That's
Like
true.
they say, when you're on an airplane, you have to put your oxygen mask on first. If you're not breathing oxygen, honey, you're dead and you can't help anyone. So when it comes to self-care, that's one of the most important things that I've learned. If I can help anyone
what
or
is
inspire anyone.
what are some of your self care practices? I'll say.
Oh, that's a good one. My number one thing I would say is calming and shutting off your brain as much as you can through meditation.
Uh,
I need to meditate more, but I notice when I don't meditate at all, my world is in shambles because it's such a fast paced world, as you know, everything
mm,
that goes on between, auditioning, if I have a photo shoot.
yeah,
I'm also a licensed insurance agent if I'm trying to help someone with their finance.
yeah,
And, I have relationships, I have,
yeah,
family members. So balancing all that, I could not do it without taking time out for myself. So that brings me to my next thing about self care. After meditating, I'm always taking time for myself. I need that time for myself.
yeah,
I need some type of time for myself to heal, to recollect my thoughts,
yeah,
to recharge myself. And you cannot do that if you cannot sit with yourself for a little bit. You have to be able to
yeah,
sit with yourself for a little bit. That's why I love being in nature sometimes. But
yeah,
if you don't have nature around you, just walk outside.
yeah.
Sometimes you need a breath of fresh air
A
to
change of
recharge.
environment too,
Change of environment.
because when your mind is still stuck in the stressor state of your environment, which
Hmm.
is why, like, even say you work a 9 to 5 and you're used to being in the office all day,
Oh God, that sounds
and then when you
dreadful.
go to lunch, you're in the office all day, still at the same
At the same
place.
place. Leave the job for lunch. If you work a 9 to 5, do not have lunch in the same building. Go out the building somewhere close to have lunch. Even if you have to have your lunch delivered, go sit on a stoop somewhere outside to eat lunch. Or if it's cold,
It's
a
gonna
coffee
be cold.
shop.
We live coast.
We
to
live
coast.
coast to coast. It's nice where we're at. But some places, if it's cold, there's maybe a coffee shop near you.
Yeah.
Where you can buy something and eat something at a coffee shop or your car. You want to get out of the environment. Create that environment for yourself.
You have to, and I think that was important with convenience too.
Yeah.
Like you make your quality of life convenient, which I knew personally I needed to live somewhere I can go outside.
Facts. I cannot be indoors in a box because that's what most of us live in. I cannot.
So I had to move somewhere I could be outside.
Yeah.
Or that I can enjoy outside because I enjoy nature as well.
I enjoy the sun.
The sun.
You know, like I enjoy looking at the sun or having feeling some type of sensation from the sun rays on my skin. It makes me feel alive. It energizes me. And the sun does energize.
It does.
Not only the plants, your mood, the animals. And
and this is Mood Mondays.
This is Mood Mondays,
But that sun will energize your mood.
It really will, you know, because if you notice, sometimes people can have seasonal depression.
Yeah. And even if I find myself upset, or I'm trying to figure some shit out because there's a lot of stuff going on in my mind, I'll walk outside, even if it's just to take out the trash. I'm gonna be honest. If I don't go too far, at least I'll tell myself in my mind, you went outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you got some air, you know?
You went outside, you got some air, you saw the sun, you felt the elements.
That's it. You felt the elements. But the air inside your apartment, your home, your office building,
it could be a lot of negative energy.
It can be a lot of negative energy. Or it can just be energy in itself. Sometimes it's not even your energy, it's probably other people's energy. That's why you always have to take that time for yourself, and you only can do that by stepping somewhere or being somewhere where it's just you. You're taking in your own thoughts, your own energy. Go outside or go into a place where you can just be alone by yourself for a few minutes.
And you're safe.
And you're right. You have to make sure you feel safe.
You feel safe. You got to feel safe with you. Because, speaking of seasonal depression, because this is that time of year, like there's so many things that remind people of so many triggers or other, mood sets that send us up and down and spike. But you want to feel safe alone, and not that you are alone.
Exactly.
But you want to feel that you're able to give yourself that self-love and self-care. And you know what I mean? Like the more you pour into others, like when you see somebody that look good, you be like, oh, you look good. Or like, oh, I love your smile. Like sometimes you need to do that to yourself. Like she talking to the mirror, I be talking to myself.
I be talking to myself, honey. I be telling myself like, damn.
You have to find ways to elevate your mood.
You fine.
Correct. You got to find ways to elevate your mood.
Yeah.
And also just focus on like, okay, what state will help me get to the next portion of what I feel like my quality of life will be better in.
Exactly. And I want to piggyback on what you said. Feeling that you're not alone, because you're not alone. Another part of self-care, I think a lot of people have to start doing, is realizing you can't go at it alone. You have to have some type of support. Find some type of support group, whether it's a friend, a therapist. Some of us have therapists.
Yes.
Some type of spiritual leader, some type of group activities, some type of mentor, teacher. But you cannot go at it alone. Human beings were not meant to be isolated. I know these days a lot of us like to be isolated.
To stay away from.
But it's not healthy. If you realize in the world, some of the blue states where the people live the longest, is a lot of things they eat healthy. But one of the other things they do, they are a community. They check up on each other. They make sure that it's a community feeling. They're not isolated. They don't feel alone.
Well, our society and the Western side is more like that.
Yeah.
Just based on studies. And, I'm an educator, so I'm going to go there. But we live in such an individualistic society, so it's always, main character syndrome. Real talk.
Everybody's the main character.
And I studied abroad when I was in college, and I got the chance and opportunity to go to Asia for quite some time, and I went over there to different countries. But one thing I did love about Japan was
Oh,
just
I love Japan.
how collectivistic they are,
Yeah.
and everything has such a just a mood. I would be it's a
It's a
mood.
mood, and they're so communal. Like
It's a mood,
they have a mood, and it's communal. They
and
have a
they live a
community.
long time.
They're one of the blue states.
Yeah,
Because they have a community. I noticed when I was over there too. They're all
yeah,
about community.
love it.
And I was one of those people. I used to be very isolated,
Yeah.
very sheltered. I didn't, like to be around a lot of people, and I still have a little bit of introvert in me. But I'm an extrovert. Someone said something about
I'm an introverted.
an outrovert is
Yeah.
something that's in between introvert and I'm both because I can turn it on when I need
Yeah.
to. But I love one-on-one with people.
Same.
But
then you get people that you, like you said about having community. You get people you get around and they bring it out.
They bring it out of you.
Yeah.
That is so true. It's some people that I notice, like you.
Yeah.
Because he be around a lot of people. G be around a lot of people.
I be around a lot of people. Y'all, I am not an extrovert as y'all think.
No, he's not though. But he brings it out of me too, because sometimes, like I can just be in my little bubble, which I know it's not good, and I don't like. I
think certain people just bring that life out.
Yeah,
and I like to have a good time though.
Right.
I think I like to have a good time, and I'm so used to that. Mm-hmm. That's why when I do go around friends and family members or people that make you feel at home.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
And I made another post about go where it's not just sunny in a place, but sunny in the people. You want to be around.
I love that.
Yes, you want to be around people that make you feel sunny, even on the gloomy days.
Oh, even on the gloomy days. Yes.
Even on the gloomy days, you want to be around someone who makes you feel sunny.
Yeah.
And I think that's a part of your quality of life and your connection and those self-care practices, because not only that, like I learned other regimens from friends who are taking different self-care practices, so, or like if I need, I'm like, what do you do for your skin or for your
people always ask like, what do you do
when you take care of yourself? Prime example, women, when y'all get y'all hair done and y'all get y'all nails done, y'all feel like a whole different person.
We do, and I know I do. I feel like a whole.
And men do too. We get our hair braided, or we don't let us get a haircut. Just don't let us get a haircut.
You can't tell y'all. You can't tell them nothing when they get their haircut. You can't tell them nothing.
Don't let me get a haircut.
But I want to piggyback on what you said. That's another thing that I noticed over the years that I became more of an extrovert going out. I love now dressing up and being cute. I can be going nowhere to the grocery store, beat. When I say beat just to the grocery store, it makes me feel good about myself. Like out of nowhere. Yeah. I'm just beat. I'm just a doll. I like dressing up. The energy comes. I feel like
she's on.
That, I'm that girl.
That girl.
I'm just that girl, It really brings that energy. So that's another thing I feel like with self-care. When I look at so if you really look at people in LA versus New York, people in New York dresses up.
They do.
They dress up.
Well, we from Chicago, so
we dress up. You have to dress up. Here, I live in the West Side. People are very much in their yoga pants. They don't really dress up. Sometimes I come in the door and I'm dressed up, and that's how I'm gonna be. But I'm telling you, like, you feel so much better when you intentionally pick something out to make yourself look good. You put that effort into. That's what it is. You put effort into looking good. So when you put effort into looking good,
and that's energy.
You put effort into looking good, you start feeling good, which adds to your self-care.
That's true.
You cannot tell me you put on a bomb outfit and feel bad.
Right.
That's not happening.
That's not happening.
You look in that mirror. Wait a minute. You pass that mirror. You like,
wait. Damn.
Okay. You can't tell me nothing.
Correct.
But seriously though,
as you should. And sometimes you might just do that, just to, like, even around the house.
I'm the queen of, I like, if I'm standing, I love a sexy lingerie. I love, like, if I'm standing, I'll put on something very hot. I'm just.
But that reminds me of our other conversation about the inner child.
The inner child.
So you know how you used to get ready for school and like
Mm-hmm.
you got new shoes or whatever and you felt good. You couldn't even sleep.
Oh, you got those
You
new
got to get out.
Jordans. You got
get
those
out.
new Jordans, honey.
So I feel like the same as we get adults,
Yeah.
I think that's been a common theme about really making sure your inner child is taken care of.
Yeah,
that's surrounded.
That is self-care. If you're not taking care of your inner child, you're not doing self-care. You're not doing the practice. You're not going to reach your higher self, because you have to take care of that inner child. Speaking of, when you look at some of these kids, they don't dress. They be wearing like PJs to school. They be looking out the press. I'm like, who is this parent sending this kid to school? Back in the days, the school was a fashion show.
It definitely was.
I don't know about LA, but in Chicago,
definitely was
it was a fashion show, honey. It was a fashion show. It was a whole fashion show,
And if you was related and families, you're not going around looking like you got a smudge.
Let's clean that off you. You got a scuff mark. Wipe that off before you get up in here. Fix your collar.
You got a hole in your coat.
Right.
Hold on. I'm gonna bring you a new coat tomorrow. Like,
you're not wearing that shirt. It looks dingy. No, we're not going to school like that. We representing over here.
That's self-pride too.
Yeah.
Right.
That's self-pride. Self-pride is self-care.
It's self-care. It's important to take pride in yourself. You want to take pride in the things that you do.
Yeah.
Contributions. You make to yourself as well as the world. But yeah.
I really enjoy it. Like really notice the effort that I put into dressing and looking good. My overall mood, even if it's been like a hectic year as it has been, I put on different clothes. I dress up, put on some makeup. I just feel good. And I sometimes don't be going to events. I just be going to places to take care of business and stuff. But
I'm so chill when it comes to clothes.
Cousin is so chill.
I do the most. I'm semi-nudist, but that's why I live where I live on the beach. But I have to take care of my body.
Yeah.
So I have to make sure I'm like working out, because if I'm stepping out on the beach,
you gotta look good. But
I want to feel good.
But that's another form of self-care. Taking care of your body, staying healthy. Yeah. A lot of people ask me a lot, like, what do you do to stay slender? Me being vegan, I would tell people you do not have to be vegan to stay slender, but 80% of what you eat
it's important.
It's important. You can see someone on a treadmill. They be working
diet
there.
Is 80.
Exercise
and working out is 20.
20. You can be on the treadmill all day and working out. You're not losing weight. You're not because what happens is you're not taking care of yourself by what you're eating.
Yeah.
What you put in your mouth lets you know how much you care about yourself. I'm just gonna be honest. Oh my God! Yeah, right. You gotta put the right. You gotta put the right. I just caught that. Oh my God.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. That just come out the wrong way. Oh my God.
No, that's because.
Yeah, right.
My mind crosses the gutter.
That's why I have to explicit. Okay. Holy fuck. That was a go. But yeah, what you put in your mouth actually determines on how you feel about yourself sometimes. Not all the time, because sometimes if you have no choice to eat something that's unhealthy and you're starving, you got to eat it.
Yeah.
But if you have a choice and it's so many other options, you're going to choose to put this garbage in your mouth.
We got our cheat days.
We all have a cheat days. No, again, no one is perfect, but it's that balance. You have to realize that your self-care involves in what you're eating.
Yeah.
If you're
that changes your mood.
It really does.
What you eat changes your mood, which is attached to cortisol, which is attached to mood. Like, a lot of things that we do is attached to mood. Which
sugar,
is mood Monday. Sugar is addiction. But I love some sugar.
Sugar is dangerous. Sugar can cause. I said sugar. Sugar can cause. Right, some sugar, honey.
Give me some sugar. Come here. Give me some sugar.
Remember back in the days, old people used to say that. Yes. I just be like, what do I mean by that? Now I get it now.
Give me some sugar.
But yeah, actually, sugar can cause depression.
Yeah,
sugar. It's very bad for you. Not fruits, because people get it kind of.
It processes a little different.
It processes different, but when you're eating all these very sweet snacks, it's processed sugar and. you wonder why your mood changed.
Yeah.
It's because what you're putting in your mouth is changing your mood.
Yeah.
And if you're not aware of that, you're feeling like, why do I feel like this? I feel sluggish all of a sudden,
Yeah.
or your blood sugar spikes
Yeah.
out of nowhere,
And when you do eat health, as someone who has changed both diets, I do notice the difference when I got back to meat, right?
Yeah.
So I got a little more sluggish in a sense because my body was heavier based on what I was eating. Now I still incorporate vegan like diet in my overall diet,
especially when we go out to eat, because
yeah. But I like it because I understood what it was for my health.
Yeah.
Early on, so I started incorporating, and there's no one size fits all diet. Let's be real.
It's not, and I was gonna say that it's really not. Me being vegan, like, it's because of my blood type. But I tell people, I don't think everyone should be vegan. It's not for everyone. You should incorporate plant-based.
I think you should incorporate plant-based things and things of substance.
Exactly, of substance. Nutritional things, which involves.
And let's talk about one thing that we all need to get down pat. Y'all got to drink some water, okay? Quality H2O.
The amount of people that do not drink filtered water, not the water. I'm sorry, our water is trash here in America. I'm sorry. I love my country. I am a patriot. I'm an all-American girl. But we need to do something about this water. Like,
you gotta do something about this water.
When I go in other countries and I taste that water good. That water was so. And
Japan got some good water.
You know what they do with their water too. Most of their water is alkaline. I'm like, you can take.
They let it just flow from the mountain.
I'm a water drinker. Like, I don't really like sodas. I don't really like sweet stuff. When I'm thirsty, I crave water, and I can taste the difference. And I will see people drinking sodas.
Water is self-care.
Gatorade. Water is self-care. Yeah. That goes to show, again, what you put in your mouth. Yeah. Not like that again. But what you put in your mouth and what you drink actually.
I didn't say nothing.
And what you drink can actually make and break your skin as well. Yeah. I notice when I drink a lot of water, my skin now, I barely have to put on my skin be flawless.
Yeah, hydrated.
So people are like, what do? I drink water and I get some sleep. Brings me to it. Sleep is a part of self-care. That's one of the things I struggled with.
Yeah. And honestly, less stress by taking on other people's stress. That's self-care too. Because have to. Yes, we show up for each other, we show up for people, but like she said earlier, if you don't take time for yourself, you wouldn't know how to even show up for somebody else. Because now you're overloaded.
The blind is leading the blind at that point.
And I've been overloaded. We all have in some sense, but I do practice self-care. I love self-care actually. And I'll isolate myself from drama.
You really do not putting other people's stuff on you, because it really can break you down, especially if you are in a fragile place already.
Yeah.
Or if you're not aware that you're in a fragile place, because some people are not.
That's true.
Then they start realizing how fragile they are because they just put themselves in a position that they really didn't have to be in.
That's true.
So, but yeah, sleep, like I was saying, sleep. One of the things I struggled with my self-care that I'm getting better at now is sleep. Quality sleep is a part of self-care.
And naps.
Oh,
I don't give a fuck. I understand now. When we was younger, I don't want to take no nap.
Naps is, again, one of the people who live longer in those blue zones. Japan,
they teach their kids to take naps all the
time. People take naps on jobs. They're allowed. They're permitted to take naps on jobs. We should take naps. Don't be ashamed. Robots. We're not robots. Don't be ashamed. It's not that, I'm getting older. You're 30. Stop. You're not old. Take a nap. You're tired.
To sleep at work.
Honey, I'm taking a nap.
Not on the clock, but trust me, if I'm off the clock and it's sitting time,
napping.
I'm taking a nap, especially if I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Seriously, quality sleep really does matter. And also the time you go to sleep. Like, if you do not work a graveyard shift, You should be trying your best to go to sleep between 9 and 11. 11 is kind of pushing it. I call it the angel train. There's something I was taught as a little kid, the angel train. So the angel train leaves at midnight. So you should already be in your seat, which means be in your bed between 9 and 11.
Yeah.
That way you can calm your brain down and go to sleep because you're going to miss it. Because so what happened is it's a scientific study that after you go to bed after 12 o'clock at night, each hour that you try to sleep, you're still not resting to the point that your body needs to rejuvenate.
Yeah.
Because your body rejuvenates around that time. So you need to
and
go.
That's important.
It's really important.
Rejuvenation. And if you can't get that much sleep, get as much sleep as you can. And I would say get as much REM sleep. Like, I want to go in a dream state like this.
Yeah.
And sometimes your life does that for you. Because when you dog tired, you dog tired.
Like, you're exhausted.
You're exhausted. Well, how is he still going?
You're like, how is she still going, honey? And if your brain is racing, one of the techniques I like to use is breathing. Focusing on my breath to help myself calm down so I can get in that sleep mode, like focusing on my breath. And then as my mind wanders, refocus back on my breath and just keep breathing. And eventually you will fall asleep. It may take maybe a minute or 5.
And I try not to eat before I go to sleep.
I try not to eat 3 hours before.
That's not how all of our lives work. But
I'm not.
There's no like. If you got a real routine and you're good at that, please drop it in comments.
Please, I want to hear your routine, please, because I'm having that's one of the things I'm working on.
That's
not
amazing.
Eating before I go to sleep.
But like people who like meal prep and have but you not only that, you created a solid routine even with your work-life balance, because that's quality of life too. Because we all work. I mean, we all live in the same economy.
Yeah.
Let's be real. We have to do something.
More than one thing.
But if you got a good handle on work-life balance, your life starts to flow in a way where they recommend you get 8 hours of sleep, but who's really getting 8 hours if you commute to work and you have to be up at 2, and then you have to drive 2 hours, and then you have to factor in that life.
Yeah.
But
ain't nobody doing all that.
How do you find the balance?
You have to find the balance.
How do you find the balance? Drop that in there.
Yeah.
How is your mood?
That's what I say. Ain't nobody doing that without. Ain't nobody doing that without having a bad mood. Yeah. But no, I want to hear too. What's your routine? How do you balance that balance? And resting yourself, which and eat, like you said, eating at night. That's one of the things I'm working on. Not eating so late.
Because sometimes it messes up your sleep pattern.
It messes up my sleep pattern, my stomach.
Your circadian rhythm can be thrown off.
And I'm wondering, what did I do? Well, girl, you ate at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and your little stomach, as you have it, because some of us have low stomach acid, like myself, doesn't get to digest. The stomach is just sitting there. I always say if you can walk after you eat, which we'll talk about in another segment.
Should.
Yeah, you should always walk. Yeah. That's one thing I noticed when they did a lot.
Because if you sit down after you eat, it's not really digesting.
It's not really digesting.
It ain't going nowhere.
No. It's not.
And they drink hot water.
They drink hot water over there in Japan, and they walk a lot.
Hot water, but warm water actually helps you digest.
Yeah, I can't drink cold water anymore because I got so used to that drinking warm water.
As a singer, I don't really like really brisk cold water.
Yeah,
but I do enjoy room temperature. It's better for
It's your vocals. Like I have to do lemon and tea before I sing. You're right.
Yeah, it's better for the vocals and better for the digestion. So
especially the tummy. So the ladies out there, if you are wondering for self-care practicing for your stomach, we'll have a whole segment about gut health. Make sure that you're drinking warm water with some tea, some lemon, some ginger, and don't eat so late at night. And thank y'all for joining us on Mood Mondays.
Drop in the comments how your mood is around this topic. Please share some of your self-care and quality of life goals and aspirations.
I'm really interested. And tell me how you help your cravings and stop your cravings so you can't eat at night so I can learn, because I'm really trying to learn. Till next time.